Hello everybody, and I am Keaton. This is Kid Catholic Season 9, Episode 7, and before we get into today's video, if you could please click the red subscribe button down below and the bell next to it, that way you get notified when I come out with a new video. We are almost to 5,000 subscribers, so it would really be appreciated if you went ahead and hit that subscribe button. Now, for today's topic, I wanted to talk about something that can kind of be overlooked and doesn't get talked about enough, and that is saints and the process of making saints in the Catholic Church. Like, who decides who is a saint and who isn't a saint? Why does the Catholic Church decide these specific people? So what I want to start off with talking about is that I'm using the term saint loosely here, because anybody who is in heaven is a saint. If you are in heaven, you are a saint, even if you are not named a saint by the Catholic Church here on earth. If you're in heaven, you're a saint, right? Now, what we do know is that those who are named a saint by the Catholic Church on earth, those are the people whom we know are in heaven, no matter what. We know for a 100% fact that they are in heaven, right? Whereas, just because somebody isn't named a saint by the Catholic Church on earth, that doesn't mean that he or she isn't in heaven. It just means that we don't have a way of 100% proving it. And so that's the difference there. But when it comes to being named a saint by the Catholic Church on earth, something that you need to have first is a cause for canonization. Now, this can only take place 5 years after the person's death, at least 5 years after the person's death, because this permits enough time to look into, well, was this person really holy? Did he or she live out his or her life correctly? And this cause can only be opened by the Archbishop of the diocese that saint was from. And so once a cause for canonization is open, then you can look at titles. So there are different sort of stages to becoming a saint. It's not just from nothing to saint. There's servant of God, venerable servant of God, blessed, and then there is saint. So you take those different levels, and it's sort of an added one and deeper investigation into the saint's life, because the Catholic Church isn't just going to let anybody become a saint and make sure that, oh, we know for a 100% fact that that person is in heaven. So there is a lot of investigation that goes into it. So first off, once a cause for canonization is open, then the person can be given the title servant of God. And servant of God is the title that they have while more investigative work is done. Then the next step toward the canonization of this saint is evidence, which is studied by normally a council of people. You have theologians look at the writings of these people, make sure that no writings of this saint conflicted with church teaching. You have eyewitness accounts of the people who were there, and this is basically where the servant of God is declared as either a martyr or a person of holy faith. Right, so either you're a martyr or you're just super, super holy and not a martyr. And so once you are defined as one of these two things, the next step comes in. And this is when you're venerable servant of God, you are either a martyr or a very holy person, and you can be declared beatified. Now, if you're a martyr, then bam, you got it. You can automatically become beatified after being named a martyr, after being named a venerable servant of God. You can just sort of skip a step almost and move to being beatified. However, if you were not a martyr, and being a martyr again means dying for your faith, that there was proof that you died, that a person died for their faith, right? And so after that is done, after you're a venerable servant of God, and you can start being beatified, if you're a holy person and were not a martyr, then you need at least one miracle that can be attributed to you after your death. So that can be attributed to a person after their death. And you can say, okay, God worked intercession through this specific venerable servant of God after their death. And it is proven that it was that person. And it is proven that it actually happened. It was a proven miracle. If that can happen. And again, a martyr doesn't need that to be beatified. All the martyr needs is, well, they're a martyr, right? Is to just be beatified. And that's when they are called blessed. So if we see a person with the title blessed before their name instead of saint, it means that they are essentially almost done with the canonization process, just not quite there. And so once that very holy person or martyr, and I'm not saying martyrs aren't holy, you know what I mean, has been declared a blessed or beatified, then you can move on to official canonization. And this is where they officially become a saint. Now, whether you are a martyr or a very holy person, you need at least one miracle attributed to you after you have been beatified. Okay? So one miracle attributed to that person after they have been beatified. That's why people can be beatified and be called blessed for a long period of time, is because while there may be miracles that have happened, it may not be able to be proven yet, or it may not have been seen yet. And so there's all these different things. And again, it's not like these blesseds, these servant of gods, these people perform these miracles. These people are not the ones doing these miracles. It is God doing the miracle through them, from their souls in heaven to us on earth, right? Because God is the only one who has that power or that ability to do that. And so once that can happen, and again, it is proven that it was a miracle. It is proven that it was after you were beatified. It is proven that it was because of that person. Then, once that is done, then the Pope can officially canonize you. And again, this is done by the Pope himself, where he officially canonizes a person as a saint and makes them a saint. What's crazy to hear about this is over the last 30 years, the Catholic Church has canonized a record number of saints, something that hadn't been done before, like an insane number of saints, which, I mean, makes sense because we're, seeing the world population go up, right? So, of course, we're going to see a rise in number of canonized saints. But I want to make it very, very clear, again, really quickly, right? If you are even if you are not named a saint by the Catholic Church here on earth, you are still a saint if you are in heaven, right? So anybody who is in heaven, even though they may not be named a saint by the Catholic Church on earth, is a saint. And that's something that is so important to remember. And so seeing a record number of saints canonized, seeing the process that it takes, it can all sound very difficult. And when we're all called to be saints, it can be something that can sort of sound challenging for us. Another way of saying we're all called to be saints is just to say we're all called to get to heaven, right? Whether we end up being named a Catholic, whether we end up being named a saint by the Catholic Church here on earth or not. If we get to heaven, if we get to that point, then we are a saint, and that is something that we are all called to be. So remember the different levels. There's servant of God, venerable servant of God, blessed, and saint. And so that is how we have the saints that we have now. And again, it's sort of been mixed up in the history of the Catholic Church because before they even had the printing press, before there was really a way to prove certain miracles, to prove this and that, the way that a saint has been canonized has sort of shifted a little bit to be more modernized and be more standardized, essentially to be, this is the way we do it, this is how it's going to be. And that's just been an over time thing. That's not like a thing that the Catholic Church just randomly made up how it's going to happen. But the Catholic Church, if we are to refer to that person as a saint, has to have proof that that person is in heaven. Because if the Catholic Church names someone a saint, and then the person isn't in heaven, then that's just completely wrong, right? Because now we're looking and trying to imitate that saint's life, when in reality, that person is not in heaven. And so that's something that it's not just like the Catholic Church is doing all these steps just to make it harder, make it more difficult. We're doing these steps because we need to know that that person is in heaven, and having these miracles, having eyewitness accounts, being able to have theologians look at the person's writings, it can help to determine that. So now that the topic is done, y'all know what it's time for now. It's time for
the Saint of the Week.
Today's Saint of the Week is Carlo Acutis. Now, Carlo Acutis, I think, has an incredible story because it's so insanely recent. Notice I didn't say saint before his name because right now he is venerable servant of God. He is a venerable, right? And as of October 10th, very, very soon, when this video is released, it'll be in just 4 days, he will be considered a blessed. So he is soon to be a blessed. Carlo Acutis, now this story just sounds absolutely crazy. Carlo Acutis died in 2006, was born in 1991 at the age of 15. He died from leukemia cancer. What's crazy is that he had hobbies just like every normal kid. He liked playing video games. His favorite console was the PS2, which, he could have chosen an Xbox, but, it's fine. He chose the PS2, and he liked playing video games, he liked playing soccer, he liked playing outdoors, but what's cool about that is that he would limit himself to 1 hour a week of video games, even though he wanted to play more. And what else he would do was, he would drag his parents to daily mass. It wasn't the other way around. It wasn't like his parents were dragging him. No, he would drag his parents to daily mass. In fact, it was said, his mom even said that before Carlo, the only time she ever went to mass was for her first communion, her confirmation, and her wedding. So her parents weren't devout Catholics. He just found something truly special and amazing about the Catholic faith, about God. And so, yeah, he was a video gamer, he was a computer programmer, and even set up an entire website about Eucharistic miracles, right? An entire website about Eucharistic miracles and what goes into that, which is so incredible. He would often have holy hours. When he got leukemia when he was a teenager, he offered up all of his sufferings for the Pope, which at the time was Pope Benedict XVI. He would offer up all his sufferings for the Pope, for Jesus. He would say that out loud, that he was offering up his sufferings. He would offer it up as a sacrifice. And he never found sorrow in them, which is something that is so truly incredible. He had a devout Catholic faith and encouraged others to receive the Eucharist daily. It was said that at school he wasn't okay with people being picked on, especially kids who were disabled. And so he would always stand up for them in school also, which is so awesome to have, because a lot of times I could say saints on here and say, oh, we can relate to this, we can relate to this. As a 15-year-old teenage boy myself, right how old Carlo was when he died, I can tell you I relate to that so much, like to him so much, and knowing that it was so recently and he played video games and he was a normal kid just like all of us, right? And he still managed to make so much time for God and to devote his life so closely to God, which is something that, especially if you're a teenager watching this, right, all of us can do. And so it is so incredible to see soon to be, not yet, but soon to be blessed Carlo Acutis pray for us. So thank you all so much for watching. Today's topic was viewer suggested. So if you have any topic suggestions, you can leave them down in the comments below. Please like the video. Please click the red subscribe button down below and the bell next to it. That way you get notified when I come out with a new video. Please go to my website, kidcatholic.com. You can see all my videos on there. You can contact me, buy your very own Kid Catholic t-shirt, all these different things, which is awesome. Please check out 3 of my social medias, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. The link to all 3 of those will be in the description down below. So thank you all so much for watching. I'm Keaton, and this is Kid Catholic. I'll see y'all next week, and hi, Brielle.